His mission is to become the next Wizard King.
Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Kaijo, and today we're going to continue off, and this time we're going to do the defensive team setup for PvP. That's straight meta, the teams that you can definitely do on your defensive side and, you know, get some wins. Now, if it's going to be event PvP, there's going to be a high chance that the two of these are not going to be allowed because of their defensive stats, and then healers are not going to be involved. So this is just regular PvP, not event PvP, okay? I'm going to give you guys 5 teams that I think, in my opinion, from 5 all the way to number 1, what could be the best teams for you guys to build. Okay, so coming down for number 5, we got the speed generic team that everyone basically runs. The only thing that I can really tell you guys about this team is expect to get outsped. A lot of people tell me, I run this team, but I get outsped from another Voltos. Well, at the end of the day, it is RNG based, because if your Voltos and the enemy Voltos are built exactly the same with a level 3 speed stone on their talent tree, you're gonna get outsped. It's gonna be a 50-50. You'll outspeed or they'll outspeed. There's not really much else that goes into that except for the fact that it's based off of RNG. Now, this is a really good team that you can definitely put on your defensive team, since a lot of people have used this for both offensive and defensive. Now, for number 4, usually I would put the speed units as a number 5, but honestly, this is number 4 because this you actually have like some guarantee of winning. As I said in my offensive team video, Charlotte must have her skill 2 at level 5. It needs to be level 5. It's important so she can put up the mark, but one thing for sure is the two of these, Finral and Voltos, they're going to need that speed level 3 on their talent trees, because you want them to outspeed all the other units and you want the barrier to be on play. So this will be more of an ult rush kind of team, but at the same time, you can go about it in 2 different ways. One, you can use the barrier first, or you can use the ultimate first and then barrier up next, because you're going to be outspeeding majority of the time. So this is a really good offensive or defensive team. It's a good split in the middle, but it depends on how you're building the presets. Okay, so if you're gonna go all out ultimates, like for your defensive team, you want your team to be offensive on the defensive side, you're gonna go with this right here, because at the end of the day, once you get this mark off and you get this ultimate off, Noelle's just gonna continue spamming her skill 1, okay? And then once you've killed majority of the team, Voltos and Finral will speed you up again, and then you'll be able to put up the barrier, and then that way you can definitely barrier up, and then you can withstand the rest of the attacks. Now, number 3, this one is more green unit based. I don't have the units, obviously, and it's similar to what I said on my offensive video. If you have Raya and Licht, this would be a definite good team as well, because at the end of the day, if you can rush this team, it could be a really good defensive team as well. Because if you have Raya and Licht and you run the presets of, you know, this, and then for Raya is going to be here. Raya is going to have his combination attack and then his skill 2. And then for Licht, it's going to be his ultimate attack and his skill 2. This could be a very good offensive defense team. The reason why I say this at number 3 is because it has perks of very much giving you wins on that defensive side. Because if anyone's attacking you and they go against that team, then there's a high chance that you'll be winning against majority of the teams that will be coming your way. However, because I put this at number 3, it's a fail or hit kind of team. Because if the other team is running a faster team and they have nukers, then they're definitely going to kill Raya first. They're going to get rid of Raya immediately, and that'll nullify the whole team. Once Raya is gone, this team is nullified, because Licht's not going to be able to clean up on his own, and that's unfortunate. But as long as you can get Voltos and Finral their level 3 speed talent tree, that would be very good, because at the end of the day, they'll be able to speed you up, and you'll at least get your ultimate and combination ultimate off before any of your units die. Now, here's where things get a little tricky, because you need to have a max duped William and a max duped Charlotte for this team to work. It's unfortunate, I know, but dude, this team can go annoying. It can go for a long time. It really could. Okay, the only thing I would recommend if you're gonna run this team, I know Julius isn't here, but obviously I'm gonna talk about that just now. And this is all gonna be for level 2, for number 2 team, okay? Because I'm gonna give you different variations. And the number 1 is gonna be a little different. All right, so for this team, if you want to run this team directly, and you have a max duped William and a max duped Charlotte, this will be very good for you guys. Now, this is it. How you run this? Boom, boom. What do you got? What do you got? We do this, and then boom, boom. That is it. That's really all you need to really run here. So this would be a very good tanky blue team because you got the indefinite healing from our girl Charmy, and then you have the the total defense coming from Charlotte, as well as the attack increase. You got the AoE stun, and then on top of that you got this one right here, which gives you all the increases for Mars, because Mars at the end of the day here, he's going to be your main damage dealer as well as your main tank. So this is a good team you can definitely run. However, if you don't want to run this team, you can take off Charmy, or you could take off Mars. It don't matter. You can take off Mars, you can take off Charmy, and put Julius in. But one thing's for sure, Julius will need to be here if you want to do extra damage. So in this case, if I take off my Charmy, it's basically going to be the same exact thing. However, you'll put this on as well. You'll give the combination attack with Charlotte, because once she gives her total defense and increase on the attacks, when she comes back around, you want her to attack with Julius, okay? And that's going to be very important for you guys if you're going to run this team for your defensive team. This team very much goes very good, okay? And like I said, you can swap out Mars or you can swap out Charmy for Julius. It does not matter, okay? Now, people's going to ask me, how come Lotus isn't here? Well, Lotus, he doesn't really complement this team as much as you would think. But if you don't have Charmy, then you can throw Lotus in. It doesn't matter, okay? But you would have to keep Mars and Lotus separated for them to work properly. Because if you put them together, that's just going to be a nullified team. It's not going to work well. And one of the biggest assets about running this straight blue team is that her passive skill, if she's running an all-tech team, it'll put total silence on the enemy team for 1 turn. So they won't be able to use their skill 2 first turn. So that's one of the biggest perks about running the blue team. The only unfortunate thing is, if you don't have a max dupe William and a max dupe Charlotte, this is immediately your number 5. Don't run this team if you don't have a max dupe William and a max dupe Charlotte. If they are not completely starred out, if you don't have that final star, don't run this team, okay? I mean, if you have 4 out of the 5 star, you could still run this team because William is still pretty fast, but you'll have to put those speed talents on both Charlotte and William level 3. Now, last but not least, my number 1 pick team is this right here. This is the number 1 team. I couldn't really think of another team to put as number 1, and I did want to give you guys 5 teams, and this is technically a different team altogether. So you want to run this team because you got the double barrier, you got the nasty double res, you got the insane healing from Mimosa, you got Julius nuking, you got Noelle nuking. This is the number 1 team. Everyone runs this team for defensive wall. It's kind of crazy to me because even they'll have very low CC, and you can tell not a lot of people are attacking them because the amount of points that they have on PvP, it's high because they're running this PvP team as the defensive wall team, and no one wants to face off against this stupid double barrier, double res, and nuke Julius team. Once Brady's got his barrier up, that's already disgusting. And then if you have Noelle throw up her barrier, that's even worse. Then you have the nuke that's coming from Julius. Then you have the res coming from Mimosa. And then you have the nuke coming from Noelle. And then you have the increase of defense from Radies and Mimosa. It's just a lot going on with this team, man. And I can recommend this team 100%. If you would do any swap outs, you can definitely swap out Mimosa and put Charmy, because at the end of the day, the healing is what's going to keep this team like living, okay? This is a very good team for defensive wall. Very, very annoying 100% of the time, because even I get annoyed facing off against this team. All right, so these are my 5 better PvP teams for the defensive side of PvP. Like I said, you need to work on the defensive traits of these units, as well as their perk side, which are their nuking, their crits, and all that stuff. And then obviously make sure you have the correct gears on these units. But of course, I wouldn't be able to fit all the gears and stuff into one video. So at the end of the day, these are my top 5 picks for teams. And I told you, based off of how many dupes you have your units, if the dupes are required, I let you guys know, don't run this team if you don't have specific dupes amount, okay? And like I said before, for the blue team, Charlotte and William both require to have all their dupes for them to be very, very busted, for them to be very, very good. Heed my warning as I tell you guys that, all right? So yeah, good luck. Let me know if there's any teams that I missed. And of course, I'll make another video later on when we have a switch up on meta. But as for right now, these are the main teams that I can currently tell you guys are very, very